Hey folks, welcome back. So this week, once again, we are continuing on with doing some more fence, and we're going back up into, I guess, the field that we were in last time. We weren't able to get around to the last little bit there because the guys that are running the cattle in the farm right now, they were needing that field to separate out a few cattle, so they really didn't want us ripping out some of the fence that was going to keep those contained. So we are heading down to the lower end of that field, and my dad has already gone through with the skid steer and the intimidator and ripped out all of the old fence post, and there was a few scrubby little cherry trees and stuff that got pulled out of there as well. And so that's nice and clear. So we are going to go ahead and start running some wires and getting some line post and stuff like that in there. Now the first step for this field is we need to get a few braces down here where the old fence line was that just got ripped out. We need our end one, and then we need one in the corner as well to connect up around to the braces that we put in last time. Now for the corner one here, this one was a little bit tricky getting it in. We started out putting it at an 8-foot spacing, so that would be the distance between the corner post and the post that's out a little bit from that for the brace. And we could only get in that post about maybe 2 feet into the ground, and it's supposed to be in about 3. So what we did is we grabbed another post and moved it out another 2 feet because we have the horizontal brace posts that are both 8 feet and 10 feet long. So we grabbed another brace post, moved it out 2 feet, and tried driving it in there, and we were able to get that one a little bit further. And so once we got that one in, we pulled the 8-foot one out because we didn't really want to pull the 8-foot one out without knowing that the 10-foot was going to go in better than the first one we'd done. So we pulled the 8-footer out of there, and then of course, since we'd originally planned on putting an 8-foot horizontal in there, I had to go grab a 10-foot one to put in there since we moved that out a little bit. So now that we had all the materials over there, we were able to go through and cut our horizontals down to the right length that we need, and get our wires on there, get those the diagonals on there, get those twisted and tightened up, and then that brace was ready to go. So with all of the corners and bracing and whatnot in place there, next thing we need to do is grab some line post and get those distributed around at the right spacing around through here. So with all of our line posts out roughly in place where they need to go, we can get the forks off of the skid steer, get our driver back on there. And while I was doing that, my dad got a couple of lines run on our brace post. We got the lower one and the upper one, and kind of the same thing. That gives me something to line up the line posts that go in between our braces. So with those pulled sort of kind of tight-ish, I was then able to come through and drive all the rest of our line post in there. And then once those were in, we could staple those 2 lines that we already had in place, and then start pulling out all the rest of the lines. I guess that would be 4 more. We got 6 strands going around through here. So now that we have that stretch done, we're moving kind of across the driveway there to the other side, and we have another stretch of exclusion fence that needs to go kind of up above where the creek is. Now as you can see, we've got a whole pile of rocks through here, and this is something that my dad's been working on a little bit, where he's just with the bucket on the skid steer, he's been pulling all these rocks out of the field and hauling them down here and just kind of dumping them on the stream side of where this fence is going to go. And so these posts, where you can see us way down at the far end there, those ones gave us a little bit of trouble going in there. We'd drive them in a little bit and they would just stop. And more than likely we were hitting some of these other rocks, like the ones that you're seeing here in the video. But eventually we managed to get those in down there, and then get the brace put in down at this side as well. Now we aren't going to string any wires across these right now because he's still working on bringing more of this rock down from up in the field and dumping it on the other side. So we're just leaving this fence out for the time being so that he's able to easily get through there and move some of that rock out of the way. Alright, so my new tachometer cable came in yesterday while we were doing a little bit with the fence on the other side of the creek. So today we're going to see if we can't get this thing threaded back in here, get it all hooked up, And hopefully our tack will work after this. So we got everything buttoned back up, our panels back on the side there. So now I think we're ready to give this thing a try and see if that fixed our problem. I think it will. So with our tachometer now working on the 784, we're going to go do just a tiny little bit of brush hogging along where our fence line is going to go. And this is another new little stretch, which is right across from our gate from the fence that we were just putting in right at the beginning of this video. So all the old fence has been cleared out of here, and I'm just going to go through. We're going to get that knocked down, get all the grass knocked back, and then we're going to work on getting a little bit more exclusion fence put in through here. Alrighty folks, so that is all the fence that we are going to get put in this time. Next week, I really think we're going to have something different than fence. We're going to get a little bit of a break from doing that. At least that's the plan anyways. I think we should have a different video for next time. And then the week after that, I think we'll probably be back to doing more fence. But this time we are heading all the way to the very back of the farm to do some exclusion fence back there. But knowing how things go around here, trying to plan something 2 weeks out is probably not a good idea on my part. So that is going to be it for this week's video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.